I'm Doris with a D. Welcome. Today we are at Nonna's Bistro and Cafe, Argentinian restaurant. We are with Chef Dan at the table, and we have Mauro Binetti here, and we are going to interview him, and we're going to ask him some questions about who he is, where he comes from, and what he does. Welcome. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for coming and visiting my restaurant.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for inviting us. We're very happy to be here with you today. How long has this location been open?
So this year in October, late October, beginning of November is going to be 4 years that I've been at this location.
4 years ago.
4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember watching one of the videos with Rick Tobin. That's how we found the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have such a beautiful place here. Everything is just so cute. I love that. I remember the first time we came, you guys were preparing to have music, and the place was full and
Two
everything.
guitar players, I remember that.
Yeah, there was like dueling guitars and stuff. It was beautiful. How did you get the inspiration? I know Nonna means abuela, grandma.
Grandma. So
Yeah.
it's an Argentinian restaurant. We infused it with American culture. Argentinian culture is very similar to Italian because there's a lot of influx of the Italian culture. Mm-hmm. My mom and my dad are Italian, and my mom's, luckily she's still with me, and she's the traditional Italian cook. So growing up, I knew everybody would taste her food and it would be like, my God, your mom cooks amazing. And I know for a fact you cannot find una nonna like that in today's world that can cook that with heart and with love, So I grew up in that industry. When I was growing up, my summer while I was here in middle school or high school, I would actually enjoy my high school cooking at home. That would be my summer vacations, And I would actually watch TV shows or learn from my mom, and I would cook a different dish for my family on a daily basis, and that's what I would do, and that would be my summer break,
Where in Italy? Was it northern, southern?
Both. My mom is from South, she's from Cosenza. My father's from Potenza, which is closer to Rome.
Okay, so you have the best of both worlds.
Correct. So they migrated to Argentina after World War II, super young. I was born there alongside with my brothers, so I learned the Argentinian culture, and then when I was 11, my parents migrated to North America. So I pretty much grew up in Florida. So so that's why you would see our breakfast being the American traditional breakfast, where you have omelets, benedicts, and waffles and pancakes.
Right.
Infused with the Argentinian steaks and pastas that are, for our dinner or lunch.
Right.
No,
it makes it a more satisfying breakfast.
What I love about the place, though, is we're going to put pictures up. You have the whole section that's like the cafe, bakery, and
correct,
and then you have the whole restaurant, and it really is like two separate
entities.
It's awesome.
But as you know, when you walk into the restaurant, you'll see a cafe with lavazza Italian coffee, and a whole display of empanadas, and a whole display of desserts and cakes. So it creates this casual, but then when people come in, they realize that it's more than that. We do serve
a
full breakfast, a full lunch, and a full dinner.
Came in, we saw that, we went there, and I was like, what's going on over there? And then we saw the guys with a guitar, and we gotta come back for that.
So, believe it or not, I still do the shows. I used to do it more often, and I wanted to infuse the Argentinian music and shows. So now I post it once a month. I do either folklore or tango or ballads that are traditional from the country. So luckily this Sunday actually I have one of the singers actually coming in, and they're going to do tango, folklore.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be, the one I do is usually on a Saturday at 8 p.m. So it allows everyone to be able to participate in the show.
Let us know. We'll put it up on our website for everyone to see. Definitely.
I love that. I'm going to miss the tango edition. I'm sure you'll be back.
Yeah, next month. We always host it. Sometimes, people come and they say, hey, I want to do a karaoke. And I host them, and I have all the equipment, and they come in and they create a local atmosphere, and then it becomes like a family get together with family and friends. And I bring out the karaoke, and everybody's having dinner, having a couple of glass of wine or beer, and then
and that's the best. There's nothing better than going to a restaurant and having a good time with everyone, people around and all. Because when you go there, you're sitting there with like 3 people, 2 people, and it's just like, okay, we eat, we talk, we're out. But now when you got other people involved, it's so much. It's an experience.
Correct.
It's just not dinner. And she'll tell you, like, when we do the reviews, I don't like places where you just go to eat and leave.
It becomes not personable.
Right.
You have to feel comfortable in everywhere. And I, including myself, when I go out to other restaurants or any other places, I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel
comfortable.
Besides having great food or the atmosphere is something that
when you walk in, you want to feel welcomed.
Correct.
I mean, even
you want
like,
that hug.
Well, like I pointed out the cafe because, for instance, if we have dinner and we might want dessert, but you know what? By the time I hit that door and look at that, I'm going to want dessert.
Desserts.
So there's more to it, and then I don't even want to get started with the outside and the view.
That's the thing,
I'll leave that for you.
I mean, if you look
like,
at the restaurant itself, it's a full 360 view with windows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could see the entire outside, overseeing the intercoastal part of the ocean.
That lighthouse.
Correct.
Oh my goodness.
So, you could sit in the patio and have a glass of wine. You watch people walking, running on the weekends, and you could see people coming in through the inlet, going in through the ocean. So it's a relaxed atmosphere. It's not commercial. It's more like at home atmosphere.
It's more Italian. It's more laid back.
You also said
it's
it
cafe style.
before we were taping. You said it's definitely a hidden gem.
Correct.
Oh, it
Because
is.
we're located in, if you look at our location, it's not like we're located in where everybody goes to, like a pier or a beach access. We're located right on ocean, but it's unique. It's separate. It's secluded from everything. So if people come from Fort Lauderdale area, they might turn into 14th going west, and they actually miss the area, or vice versa. So when people come in here and they know what we are about, what we do, what we give, what we provide, they become in love with the restaurant, and then they come back and they want to see us again and again.
Yeah, definitely
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Yeah.
So to get there, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of communication, making sure. And a day in, day out, you're providing that service. You're providing the quality of food. I see you guys tasted our desserts, our breads, our empanadas, our pretty much all the things are made here
Made in-house.
In-house. So it's not like it's bought. So you're gonna have a piece of bread, even for our sandwiches, it's gonna be homemade. For our breakfast.
I didn't know that.
So when you order, let's say, an omelet or a Benedict, those toasts, either whole wheat or white bread, we make it here now.
Wow.
So sometimes during the week, as the pastry chef that makes the breads as well, you will see them displayed outside, because sometimes people would want to buy the entire loaf right off the oven.
Right out of the oven.
I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing like fresh bread. There's nothing like a fresh bread out of the oven.
Well, I just told someone that story last week about when I bit the bagel. Years ago, there was a bagel factory around.
You bit the bagel.
There was a bagel factory around, and I would go and I'd buy bagels right from the factory. So they were warm. So one day I got there, and I see them coming out of the oven. So the guy said, "What do you want?" I said, "Give me a dozen of those." And he's like, "Well, what are?" I'm like, "Just a dozen. Whatever those are, I'll take them." Like an idiot, I got in the car and I went like this. I bit into it. I burnt my lip, my gum, my tongue.
No way.
It just came out of the oven, and those things are like little heat bombs. But I couldn't resist. Like she just said, the smell of the
smell,
bread.
yes.
I had to. It was like,
it's like Krispy Kreme when you see the red light. You want to go in and.
It's like you can't. It's like, and in my head I'm going, and I'm in the business forever. I'm sitting
absolutely
there.
Right.
I'm sitting there like, am I an idiot? Because like, why did I do that?
I know this.
As soon as I bit into it, I was like, why did I do that?
I know better than this.
But
you don't have any other locations, right?
No, not currently.
Not yet?
I'm in the plans of in the near future to expand to either north of this location. A lot of people that come, either seasonal or locally. They wish they had something closer to their home. So when they come for the season time,
I can see that.
They're like, I wish I had this near my home up north.
Yeah.
But and in your mind, you're like, why couldn't I be there? You know, and it's always there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it could be a
Right.
possibility.
Well,
you know?
what I always tell people too is like, get your craft down, you know, and like all the times we've been here, everything runs like clockwork. So that's a natural progression.
Correct.
What I hate seeing is when we see somebody with a brand new place and right away they're looking for another place. I'm like, you know how hard it is to get established?
So that was when I started the industry. That was my original thought process. You know, when I sunk in and realized what it takes, what it's about.
Right.
You know,
right. What it takes.
and
The details.
and it's perfection.
And there's a lot of fire.
Because you know what it is, as you evolve and as you grow, you listen and you take criticism and you take it constructively in order to become better and better.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has opportunities. We all do, and you know, and it's a matter of reacting and becoming better, not just with the food itself, with the service, with anything that you provide. It's an evolution, and it's a constant learning and experience, because we as humans, we evolve in day in, day out.
That's
you know?
right. We learn.
And
We make
learn.
mistakes.
So what
But we learn
we all
from
did
them.
5 years ago
Yeah.
in any industry, we evolve with the changes, what people's demands are, what people's needs are, what the trends are, in order to meet them and in order to be available to the customers to what they need in today.
Without paying attention to that, to your clientele, you cannot grow.
Correct.
Yeah.
But
And I love
then
that you enumerated, you went right for it, you laser focused on it, you told us why you do what you do and how you do it. I love that.
But then in my mind too, I don't want to lose my essence. I don't want to lose
Right.
the reason why
that's the
I am
whole-
doing what I'm doing.
That's what I was saying.
Because I do
Yeah.
have a difference. You know, what makes me stand out from everybody else.
Right.
It's something that I was raised with. It's something that I was involved with, and it's an acquired taste. It's something that when you provide it from the heart, everything else goes. You know,
Yeah.
and I think everyone knows that and feels it and tastes it as it goes through your mouth and in the palate, and you feel the difference.
You said
of,
that.
You know,
I taste the love.
I can
You know.
taste the love. Yeah.
You know,
It's true.
and
And it's a beautiful thing.
you know, and it's, you know, and you see it even with in your own home when you cook with love. You know, everybody else loves it. You know, and I
You
think
know it's going to be good.
anything that you do with love in life, whatever you decide to do, will get you where you need to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. That's the only way to be.
That's it.
And
No,
that- that's how
the
we
same
grow.
thing. But the same thing, like open multiple businesses. I hope I don't embarrass you.
No.
But I've seen you here working on equipment.
Well,
So, no, but I've seen you do that. Now, you don't know how many owners don't do that. They just call somebody. So now if you had 3 locations, either
well, that would be a different.
at one time.
I would love to make 3 of me. You know,
Yeah.
hopefully with technology.
No, but what I'm saying is this was like your proving ground. This is your proving
That would be
ground.
nice, right?
And you did, you
Clone
got
me,
4 years
please.
here, you got your proving ground. So now, whenever XYZ breaks, you know how to fix it.
Correct.
So you don't have to say, yeah, call the repair guy that's going to charge you hundreds. You can.
Sometimes it's not about calling the repair. It's finding the availability or finding the right person or are willing to do
Right.
it. You know, you can call, but they're not
But
as they don't come right away.
But
They're-
you know,
And
but
if they do come, they sometimes don't have the skills necessary, and that's another issue.
well, no, but if
We're not
you,
even
but you
gonna go
have,
to
but
that.
now you have the knowledge
Correct.
of pretty much everything how it runs.
Correct.
That's my point. Because a lot of people jump into it. They buy 2, 3 restaurants, and I don't know, the pilot goes out on the stove. Now you can fix that pretty quick. They might call somebody, and even if they come, they're going to pay.
And it's not like I did that in the past. It's, I'm crafty, but
Right.
Yeah.
but I'm, you know, I take the chance. I learn. I
But
watch
once you got it-
videos and things, and
Yeah.
I can do things. You know.
Yeah.
But once you
Yeah.
got it down, like I always go back to, and I think I told this to you last week. We were talking about it when I was in college to be a chef. One of the chefs told me, once you learn everything there is to learn, get out. And the same thing with business. Once you learn everything there is to learn, expand.
Correct.
But don't do that.
Until you know.
Yes. Yes.
You-
Because you
you know-
can't learn on the
The
go.
problem is, you know, everybody has a skill. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
A special one.
But in this industry alone, it's a multiple type of skill. You know, it's production, it's service, it's availability, it's operational. So you have an entirely. So when it's owned by yourself, not a corporation,
Right.
you learn to be a jack of all trades.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
in the finance world, in the the budgeting and the
Right.
controlling of the expenses. So you're not just focused on the taste,
Right.
And the
and the
presentation,
production,
and the-
and the delivery.
Yeah.
And you're multitasking.
Yeah, you have to know everything.
and if you're not organized, you could easily lose track of the entire process. You know,
It's easy to do too.
You know?
It's very easy to lose
or
that
super
track.
intelligent where your mind,
Or they
you know,
focus on
but
the
then
wrong,
but
or they
then
focus on the wrong thing.
correct. But the problem is, when you're not delegating or you're not expressing your mission or your goal, you will never expand because your team needs to know what you want,
Right. Right.
what you want to do, what you're all about, and what's your intention of being with. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
and when
and-
you're pivoting,
And
you
the
have
same
to
thing with
know that they're on board.
Well, same thing with personalities. They will know your weakness.
Correct.
You know, and I mean, I've been in spots where I started new as a chef, and they didn't know what I knew. And I sent home a saute guy and a grill guy with 210 covers one day. I sent them home, and I took over. And after that, one guy came back, but you know what? The rest of the crew, after that, they knew what I could do.
Correct.
And that game wasn't played anymore.
Because the industry, you depend a lot on certain people to do what they do. So as an owner, the biggest mistake people make is depending on a specific person to do the job.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to be successful in any industry, not just a restaurant, you have to be able to do anything from A to Z in your business. So you don't depend on dishwasher, the cook, and the server. So if they're not performing, if they're not delivering their mission, you don't have to hold on to them because you need them. You have to set their expectation. If they don't meet them, that you're able to do it until you find that person that can do it for you.
Yeah. And one of the philosophies I always have too is you can't tell somebody to do something that you don't know how to do.
Correct.
So if you have your recipes and you tell them, oh yeah, make this or do that, and you don't know how to do it, and you go, here's the paper, you're setting yourself up.
Correct.
You're setting
Correct.
yourself up because
it's never going to be the same.
Right, not going to be, and it's not going to be what you want.
Correct.
Whereas, like, even like what we do, like, I do all of our stuff, all of our editing and all, and people are like, oh, you can get somebody. And I said, no, I want it my way. And when God willing, when the day comes that I have to hire somebody, I will be able to say, this is how I want it.
Correct.
And if they say, oh, it can't be done, I can say, it can be done.
Not only can it be done,
Because
it has been done.
like in the kitchen, I'm sure you've hired cooks here and you've told them X, Y, and Z, and the minute you turn around, they do it how they want to do it.
Correct. Because I understand.
Yeah.
I understand the way they reason. They went to school, they studied, they perfection themselves in certain industry or certain portion of the cuisine.
Right.
So for them, this is what I'm good at. This type of grilling or cooking this type of food. So when you take them out of their comfort zone, they tend to fight back.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. And you have to make sure you encourage them. You show them why. And then
Exactly
once
why, because that's the whole thing.
and once they understand it and they get it, they know, and they're like, why didn't I do this? And they open up their mind to not just be narrow-minded on one portion of a cuisine, but just to do an entire process.
You must have read Ken Blanchard.
Sounds that way, right?
That's one of Ken Blanchard's founding things. Explain why. Don't dictate. Explain why.
Let me tell you why. Because my background when I was growing up, I worked in the retail industry, and I grew up at 24. I became a store manager. So I had, managers, assistant managers, department managers were much older than me. And being super young, in order to become credible,
We both have that
in order to
situation.
become credible, you have to believe in yourself. You have to be consistent and fair with everybody.
And
It's
you have
about
to be ahead of
accountability.
everybody,
It's
too.
about coaching, developing.
Absolutely.
It's about knowing that they matter and that everyone's important to drive your mission. So growing up in that industry, I learned a lot in the process, dealing with different personalities, how to pick the strength of one and the other one, and create a powerful team. And I think in any industry you create, it could be restaurant, retail, it could be construction, whatever industry you choose. In order to build a team, you have to be able to differentiate personalities and carry on with each strength and weakness and actually create something.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. That's how it's
Yeah,
done.
I mean, I would do
Yeah.
I do crazy stuff like that. I would have people and I would say, you know, you're in this position, and I would say, you know, that's how I scheduled them. And I'd always schedule people different spots so everyone knows everything. But I know, like you just said, some people might not like doing that or like doing. So I would say to them, listen, you're assigned to whatever. If you switch, that's fine. However, if something goes wrong on whatever section, I'm going to who was assigned.
You know,
Yes, you're still responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crazy story is sometimes you have the hidden gem within your team.
Yeah.
And it's not for the position. Let's say, you know, and it happened to me recently. I hired a person from the front end of the house for, you know, she was serving in the front. I had a transition on my pastry department. She goes, I'm interested. I would have never thought that she had the capacity to do that particular job. I said, oh, you know, let me put you in training for a week or two. Within 2 weeks, she moved me to hire
Look at that.
production.
That's awesome.
And she was so happy to do what she does.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even know that within our team,
Yes.
we have the people to replace
Right.
or
That's
become
right.
better at what we do.
That's
Right,
right.
that's
right.
Yeah.
You
And when you find that, isn't that a blessing? I mean,
Correct.
it
And then
just
you're like, why
makes-
didn't I think about it, or why didn't I, you know, express it before, you know? And I had the solution right there and then the entire time.
So that's
And
one
the
of the
thing is,
you
it
know?
changes everything. And,
Yeah.
and if that
Yeah.
person comes in happier every day.
Mhm.
And that makes changes happen all the way around.
And,
It's a
and,
beautiful
you know, she
thing.
came here, she did it, but she wasn't fully happy in the front. You know,
Yeah.
and I think, you know, sometimes people are not, they're not personality, or they don't want to deal with, you know, clientels or customer service.
Yep.
So they'd rather be in the back of the house where their mind is more in production.
Right.
And they don't have to deal with that portion of the business.
That's we talk about that. But traditionally,
Oh, yeah.
traditionally the kitchens, especially in America, that was where people went that didn't want to deal with other people.
Correct, correct.
In fact, in the kitchens back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, you had people, criminals, you know, ex-cons or whatever. They come work in the kitchen because they didn't want to deal with whatever. And that's when I came up through that. So like,
and it's mostly because
different, very different now.
correct.
Yeah.
Now you have different levels. You know,
Different.
It evolved, and, you know, and such a difference. You know, most of the people in the kitchen have studied, have been out and
Yeah.
traveled the world, and they have seen different tastes and acquired different, you know, infusions into their
Totally different now.
into the interim of cooking. You know.
Because I mean, I remember going into some of my kitchens, and the manager's like, "I'm gonna go in there and do whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, let me make sure I'm not in the kitchen when you go in, because you don't know what these guys are capable of." You know, but it's, you know, that's what you come up with, and it's funny because I was going to that thing about, you know, some of these people, they don't want to deal with people, and someone will say, "Oh, you're an outcast, you're whatever." But you know what? You put them back there, and look what they can create.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, wow.
Correct.
You know, everyone has this
And-
perception, but then when you get to the reality, and like you just said, as a manager or owner, you have to learn these things from these people. And this way, you could use their strengths and protect them from their weaknesses.
Correct.
And they appreciate that, and you'll have an employee forever.
Correct. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. That just goes to show you devotion goes both ways. You devote to them, you give them the time and
Correct.
the energy, they'll give it right back to
That's-
you tenfold.
And the key, and you know, is training. You know, and constant training. So, because if you don't train,
Yeah.
somebody's going to get frustrated and leave. Not because they didn't want to be here, it's because they're frustrated they can't perform the job that
Right.
you know you want them to.
And you're not telling them what it is.
Correct. So you're not setting the expectation.
Yeah.
You're not giving them the right tools.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any special, like, is there like a special plate that you sell here like all the time and
Most
you know,
popular.
just
So-
goes the most popular dish like?
So we have, you know, everybody loves empanadas. Right? You know,
Yeah.
we make them in house. We have 14 different flavors. So we
14
What?
flavors?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
so
no, I
that-
gotta hear this.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have from beef to, you know, chicken and sweet beef and caprese, and we have spinach and feta, we have corn and cheese. So we have a broad, even we have a breakfast one where we have sausage, cheddar, and egg, you know, so.
I thought I was great. I used to make Cuban sandwich ones.
Yeah.
Cuban sandwich
Yeah.
ones.
Empanadas?
Yeah. And then I used to make camarón enchilado and buffalo wing. Take the chicken, buffalo it up, go through the ones I know.
Interesting.
So the empanadas are great because A, you come in, you take them, you make it on the go.
Yeah.
Or B, when you come and dine in, a lot of people get them as an appetizer. They
Yeah.
just have an empanada or two, and then they order the main course.
That's what we did.
Wow, I can't believe how many though. I didn't
Yeah,
know
no,
that.
I didn't
know
realize
that.
there was that many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have empanadas, and then, of course, the Argentinian traditional is la milanesa. We have it in 6 different styles, either chicken or steak.
Right.
You know, it's a pretty hefty
Yeah,
size of
that's-
a milanesa, you know, so when the clients look at their plate, it just looks massive.
That's my favorite. No, seriously, that's my favorite.
That's her favorite.
Yeah, I love
So-
la milanesa because of the texture, because of all the flavors.
Correct.
And the seasoning. It's just, it really and truly puts me over the top. I feel like I'm being treated when I have la milanesa.
Yeah,
I feel like a queen, you know.
Well,
And
I
it's-
prefer it like that because you can taste the meat.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, when they put it in sauces and too much stuff.
Correct.
You're
I
not
mean, you
tasting
can get them plain, you know, traditional is like caballo with 2 sunny-side up eggs on top. You can put your cheese. You can do the Napolitan, which is tomatoes and ham and cheese. You can do the fugazzetta with sauteed onion and cheese. And then, you know, we have
What's your favorite?
the fugazzetta is one of my top.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
I love the combination of sauteed onions and cheese. I think with the either
Sauteed onions
the
and
steak,
cheese,
you
yeah.
know.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh my God.
and then we created one for the American milanesa, which is cheddar, onion rings, bacon, and barbecue sauce. So it's not just an Argentinian.
How genius, though. Yes.
Yeah.
That's totally all American.
So, you know, a lot of people
Yeah.
are very receptive to trying that, you know, a local flavor infused with an Argentinian style steak, you know?
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Love it.
Totally.
I'm getting hungry.
Totally.
Okay, so I'm going to hit you with a curveball.
Yeah.
What is your go-to, like on a busy day or busy night? You know, you got to grab something quick.
Quick, I mean, the quickest one is it's an empanada.
Empanada.
Grab and go, you could eat it really
Any
quick.
particular one that you would grab?
I mean, he's got 14 different
I don't know.
varieties,
That's what
you
I'm
know?
saying. In particular?
I mean-
Just any.
I think ham and cheese is my top.
Ham and cheese,
I
okay.
love the way we carry our cheese. Is that stringy portion
Which
of it.
cheese is it?
It's a secret, but it's
Ah.
mozzarella. You know?
Oh, yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
I was gonna say, but it's difficult though. People don't realize that because when I made the Cuban sandwich, I put in Swiss.
Because you could try
but
any
I put
mozzarella,
Lorraine's,
but
I put.
none of them will give you that texture.
That's what I was
No,
gonna tell you.
no,
Wait, no, that's what I was
that's why
gonna
I'm
say.
saying
That's what I was
that.
gonna say. So I put in
Yes.
Swiss, and I'm not naming names because I don't want to get sued.
No.
But I bought a big name Swiss, and I put it in there, and when it got done, when you bit into it, it was all water. It was just
Yeah.
like water. So then I had to play around with cheeses. So I found a cheese, and it's called a Lorraine Swiss, and it's kind of like a mozzarella consistency,
Yeah.
and it worked.
But it's from the Lorraine Valley?
I don't know where it's from, but all I know is it was sharp enough. It had the Swiss flavor for the Cuban sandwich, and then when I did was I diced it up, and I
That's
diced it up the
actually
ham,
really good.
and it worked. But the regular Swiss, no. And I was mad because I bought like good Swiss,
Swiss.
and like you bit into it, it's just like water.
That there's certain, you know,
He's right.
Is it- I'm
it's
starting
all
to
the
get an
quality
idea.
of that you use. You
Yeah.
know, so in order to any industry, even at home, when you cook with lower quality products,
Right.
it reflects on the dish. You know,
Definitely.
and not just on the cheese, on everything else that you know.
Can't make
that
a
you
shortcut.
use, you know.
No, you
And
can't.
so I ensure when I buy the things that are necessary for the production, they're the top of the shelf. You know, just
So-
as
so
the
these-
basic olive oil on our tables is just, you know, top quality. I don't,
Right.
you know, because I would want to eat it in
Well,
a
same
good
thing, if
quality.
you
No,
have a
but these
top-
cheeses,
you know.
they're coming from Italy.
Well, no, the same thing is
And
you
they're
have,
coming from the north and the south of Italy, aren't they? I'm
Well,
thinking.
they have an Italian name.
Yes, yes. I'm kind of
Well, no,
because I know
But it's
your-
not just
your
the cheese.
oil and
There's something
vinegar
else
come
that
from.
it's in the process.
no,
you know?
no, but the big difference is, and,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you said that though, even down to stuff on the table, is you're not going to invest in a good steak and give them like cheap whatever. You know,
No.
because that will diminish the steak.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know, so as long as you go high, you know, quality
So-
along the line, you're guaranteed to have a good product.
Correct. So like since you brought up steak, Argentina is known for
Right.
the steaks. You know, so when I originally started, we used to carry the grill for two. You know, because that's a traditional dish.
Right. That's
You
our
know,
favorite.
I
So
think that
Grill
was
for
our picture.
two.
I got that.
Yeah, so-
Thank God I took a picture.
So,
Yes.
so I took it off the menu because the demand, people at the beginning didn't understand
Right.
the entire process or the grill, you know? Now that I took it off, I have 100 people asking me, are you bringing it back?
Right.
And, you know, I'm going to tell you in the next near future, it will come back, you know, but, you know,
That's
we do
awesome.
carry the steaks,
Right.
you know, but in the cuts that are most known
Right.
locally, you know?
Right, because you can't just sit there and have it and hope someone comes. That's
Correct.
the whole.
And believe it or not, you know, like we carry sweetbreads, which a lot of people, A, don't know what it is,
Right.
B, if you know it, you love it, and everybody that's tried the way we process or create our sweetbreads, they fall in love. You know, we have it either loaded or just plainly grilled.
Yeah, no, but if they don't know,
They don't know.
yeah.
You know, so we'll see. Well, you know, I think the grill will be part of something that will come in the near future.
Now, I was going to
That's
ask you, is there something that that you wish that they would order more of to try and expose themselves to? Would it be the sweetbreads? Would it be something that you like to see? You know, like you sit there and you're like, wow, this is so good. I wish more people would order it.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the seafood world, we have the Spanish octopus.
Okay.
You know,
Yes.
a lot of people love it. You know, but you know, it's a dish that's wary. You know,
Right.
where you eat it, it has to be well prepared.
Right.
So when they do order here, they become very surprised. You know,
Okay.
because but it takes that to that moment for them to really know what we carry. You know.
Right.
I know, like me too. I love octopus. I love grilled octopus now.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't before, and we were somewhere and we tried it. I remember the guy's secret was they're out of business now. He retired, so I could
Yeah.
get his secret out. He poach it in pear juice,
Yeah.
No way.
and
Yeah.
then grill it. And prepare
Then they grill it.
But he poached it in pear juice.
And for some reason,
And-
it really chars up.
It chars up
You do
nice,
that.
and it's super
Yeah,
tender.
because of the sweetness.
See, ours is tender because we do the process prior to
Right.
cooking or grilling it.
Right.
And then we
The secret
make
process.
this olive paste that we make in house as well.
Uh-huh.
And then we of course infuse it with our chimichurri that we make in house as well.
Yeah.
That chimichurri, oh my God.
Chimichurri, that's
Put
like
that on
crack. That's
anything.
like crack from. I could put that
Everybody
on
loves that
everything.
Yes, put that on anything.
I could put it on
Anything.
anything.
They even ask for it when they eat an empanada. They want to put chimichurri.
Yeah, because
And
it
we-
brings everything up like another level.
Yeah, so we created one that's spicy, you know, which is not green. It's more on the tomatillo side, you know. So,
Yeah.
but it's made in house, but it's super spicy.
Super spicy.
So it's not like the traditional hot sauce. It's more like a homemade spicy sauce.
Okay.
But it works. It's
It works.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I told him, last time we were here, I said to you, thanks to you, I'm addicted to Argentinian sausage.
And
I have, you know how hard it was to find it here?
Well,
I had to find it.
it's
Yeah, but
good. The flavor is good.
It's
So,
delicious,
of
yeah.
course, that's one of our tops. We either get it sausage like on a dish, or the choripan, which becomes with inside of fries and
Right.
bread and lettuce and
That's
tomatoes.
delicious.
You know.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Nothing like a
It was-
choripan. Argentine style.
Because
And then you
we
put the
Because-
chimichurri inside it, and
Yes.
it becomes
Because we were
Heaven.
here, and,
It's-
and
it's
she says,
heaven.
Yeah.
and she says, oh yeah, let's get the grilled sausage, and I'm like, yeah, what's grilled sausage? And he said, oh no, it's Argentinian grilled sausage. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I get grilled sausage, and they came to the table.
You had
I
to
was
see
like,
the look on his face
what
when he
is
tried
this?
it. He goes,
This
oh my
is-
God, this is amazing. I said, yeah, I knew
This
you'd
is
like
good.
that.
yeah. You tried our empanadas already,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but we have to try all the
I didn't know
different
there
kinds of
was that
empanadas.
many.
Try one at one, you know. And you know, and I'm always looking to add and remove. So it's not like, you know, like you'll see of course the top producers all the time,
Yeah, chicken.
but there's certain ones that I either add and then or I remove. So I'm always innovating
Always
new
something
flavors,
different.
you know. So
Good.
it's not just, you know, I just want to see what people are asking for,
Right.
or what they want, and I want to infuse it and create something new for them, you know.
No, that's good. That's how you do business. I
Yeah.
mean, we talked about the business before, and like the one thing that I hate is when an owner sits there and it's like this is it, and it's the best because it's mine, and this is it. And then we have other owners that places we go to, like here, very successful.
Yeah.
And we listen to them, and they tell us, "I listen to the customers."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even your employees too, because they're here most of the time.
They're the ones that are here.
So
with the
your
customers.
face front employees are the ones listening to what's going on.
That's
Right.
the number
You know,
one.
first line of
That's your
defense.
that's your
And
first line.
your top communication should be with them.
Yeah.
Because they're
they
here,
hear
they
it,
know,
see
they
it.
talk, they a positive feedback, negative feedback, thought process. They understand. They hey, if you were to do this or do that, this would be better.
In large restaurants, you know who else is a good hit? The dishwasher.
Because when they see
He will tell you what comes back.
Mhm.
He will tell you what comes back.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, they
Because
see it.
That's
They're
right.
the
They're
ones
the
that
first
see
ones
it.
to see it.
You know, and you'll
after
hear
your
them.
server.
So, but even as an owner, when you're present and you see a client leaving more than half of their plate, A, they're full because they had a really big
Right.
appetizer, or B, there's something wrong with the plate. And you have to, teach your employees or your service to question, well, is everything okay? Is there anything I can do for you?
Yep.
In order to A, improve it, B, remove it, or B,
Well, you have to
Ask questions.
Well, the things you have
Maybe
to
it
know.
needs to be
You have to
tweaked.
know it.
Correct.
Because again, I could have something and not like it, and you could have 80 people that loved it.
Yeah.
So you just take that with a grain of salt,
Correct.
but you put it up here. And now I'm just making this up. But if you said it's something with too much ketchup, that's why I don't like it. Then the next person, then you know something's
So,
wrong.
for example, an empanada.
Right.
As simple as an empanada. Everybody, locally has a different taste of requirement. So, Argentina itself, they don't have a set recipe for the empanada.
Okay.
So you ask anyone, they're like, my empanadas are the best, or my mom's empanadas are the best. But it's a different taste of palate. So
Yes.
when I created mine, it was what I thought was right. Then it's what a combination of my clientele told me what's
There
right.
you go.
So now my flavor, it's not focused on me, it's not focused on you. It's focused on a combination of people telling
That's
what their
perfect.
thought process was and what they thought it was shaping. So it's
That's
not
perfect.
yours, it's not yours, it's not mine.
It's our community.
It's a blend.
combined with
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
input on what they wanted
That's how
to
it's
taste
supposed
when
to
they
be.
came to my
Yeah.
That's how
restaurant.
it-
Yeah.
I mean, people don't
Because
get
you're
it.
catering to your people.
So
People will
I'm
like
not.
it.
Am I going to please everyone? No.
No, that's
But
impossible.
but I could be. But I could hit a broader acceptance of the product.
Absolutely.
No,
That's
you don't
a
know
great
how
idea.
you don't know how many people
That's the
don't
only
get
way to
that.
be,
Yeah, but
really.
you don't know how many people don't get that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so and so, this dish is they don't know this dish is good, and I'm like, well, how frequently does that go back? Oh, a lot, but they don't know. Like, well, no, you don't know. Something's wrong with that.
And you have to. Yeah.
And you're here for.
Correct. And, as an owner, you have to be on top of rotation, of expirations, because you don't want to give a bad product. You have employees, you have a system, they have a process, but they're still employees. They're not the owners, so you have to always double check their work.
That's
Yeah.
my. That's
Yeah.
my big thing is that
Responsibility, yeah.
And I'm not trying to be over nice, but we always say our favorite thing is owner involvement. And every time we've been here, except the one time we came at night, you're here.
I'm here
And-
every day.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Those are the places that succeed. Because you can hire some 18-year-old manager to come here, and he'll dress nice, he'll be nice, but in the end, he doesn't care. He's getting his paycheck whether the people are happy or not. He's getting a paycheck. That's it. That's his
Correct.
mindset.
Correct.
He don't care if they come back, don't come back. If they're not happy, he'll say, because
Sure.
he's still going to get that check.
Sure.
Whereas you have a vested interest.
Correct.
So that's why, and I always say, owner involvement. And I tell people, if you want to get into the business, be prepared. And I told Doris this when I was in college. The chef told me, that's your wife.
That's your wife, yeah.
That's your wife.
I mean,
You marry your profession.
anyone that ever owned a restaurant and knows the industry, you talk to a lot of people, they know, well, it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of, being involved. Yes, it is. It's the initial setup, but when you have system in place, you could delegate. Doesn't mean you don't have to come, you don't have to be part,
right.
but you're not stuck here,
Yes.
open to close. For my industry, we open at 8 a.m., we close at 9 p.m. because we serve,
Yeah, but you don't get there at 8 o'clock and open the door. You have to get there at 6 o'clock.
You can randomly come whenever.
Yeah.
Right.
without having
Right,
a
you don't
set schedule.
have to be there, right?
You could
That's
be
the
there at
problem.
8 o'clock, or you could be there at 3 o'clock, or you
Yeah.
could be there at 11 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell them when you're gonna go, because you want them to be doing their job at all times, not when you come.
A big
Exactly.
surprise. I love the surprise.
Yeah.
Now, Diane, now, do you come into the back door sometimes?
Yes, all the time.
I love doing that. I love doing that.
All the time.
You get this.
Correct. Or sometimes I just walk around and I sit in, from the outside of the windows and I watch in just to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to
That
do.
reminds me of you. You always say you never see me coming, you never hear me
Yeah.
coming, and all of a sudden, she's there.
In today's world, you also could be home and you could watch your business.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
That's my morning coffee
I
every
never
morning.
had that. I never had that.
So that's my morning coffee.
But we
I'm
have-
here
we have-
virtually.
We have another business owner that we frequent. Anchors Away. Remember Anchors?
It's so much.
Remember Anchors Away with the cameras?
Yeah, yeah.
We
Oh, yeah.
we have a bar that we go to called Anchors Away, and John's the owner, and he has cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So one day she's in there, and we're in there together, and her
Yeah.
son loves Blink 182. It's a
Yeah.
rock band, and John has all concert posters all over the whole place. So
And I'm
she was
walking
there
around and I'm taking pictures,
taking
of
pictures
each one of the
sent her
Blink.
son,
Yeah.
and my phone rings, and I see John.
What is she
So I'm like,
doing?
hello? He goes, are you in my bar? I'm like, yeah, why? He goes, why? Doris taking
what is-
pictures. So then I told her, I said, the band.
Yeah.
And, oh, he was hilarious. He was hilarious. I'm like, you're sitting at home watching this.
Yeah, it's funny.
No, and the next time I
I-
walked
I
in,
mean,
he gave me one of those. He gifted me one of those
Yeah.
Blink
Yeah, an
182s
autograph
for my
print
son.
for her son.
So I mean, I'm sure you see how OCD I would call it. I am, the cleanliness of the restaurant.
Yeah.
I even have a camera exposing right as it comes out the production line in the kitchen. I want to see the presentation of
That's
the dishes
perfect.
as it comes out,
That's great.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
because I think it's a big part. It's a big part. It's something
Major
that
part. Major part.
I expect. If I ordered at one restaurant today, I want it to be the same next week when I come.
I got an important question. I just thought of this.
Yeah.
Empanadas, Argentinian,
Correct.
baked or fried?
Baked.
Baked.
Only.
Okay, very good.
They can request them fried, but
Right,
we
but
don't offer it,
No.
or we don't serve them that way.
No.
But people have come and they wanted it fried.
Right.
We have the capability of doing it, health-wise, and
Different dough too, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, I know.
something that
It's a different
You know,
animal.
But that's why I
I
had
know.
to ask, because I know that in South America and Central America, there's like 20 different kinds of empanadas.
Yeah, but
Yes.
then you have the clientele that loves
Yep.
that fried empanada. To me, it's not
Yeah.
It's not your
it's not
Argentine.
my type of taste.
Exactly.
I've tried it, but it's not something I would order it if I go to a place if I have an option.
And the dough
No,
is a
it's
little
different.
different. It's a
Correct.
little different.
Correct.
Not major, but it's a little different.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. It's to me, it's totally different. It's a different texture and the whole bit. So yeah, healthier, absolutely. And we're all about the healthier. So I don't have any other questions. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, I mean, I think, if anybody comes to see the restaurant, they'll see, the atmosphere is very laid back, very clean, very inviting,
Yeah.
A lot of people, it's not a crazy atmosphere, but you could have a conversation. A lot of people come and work and have meetings here where you could go from fancy to casual, so it's where it's located, on the weekends, you'll see people hiking, running, so you'll see a lot of activity.
Well, I
It's
want
very
to
diverse,
elaborate a little more on the location, because the park back here, what is that? It's a park.
Yeah, it's right off the inlet, the lighthouse is right
Right,
behind it.
right off the
Yeah.
bridge.
So
up
right
Hillsborough
here,
Road.
so you have, as you look, we're located in an island. So if you look right in front of us is a division of Hillsborough Mile and Pompano. So right here in front, you'll see that sign that says Pompano, Hillsborough Mile.
Right.
Yep.
So if you look to your right or in front, you'll see intercoastal. To the right, you'll see the inlet going into the ocean. And right behind here is the actual ocean. So it's a little island, and if you look, the way it's set up, so the east side, the west side is right in front of the restaurant, which you would think it's behind,
Uh-huh.
because it's just positioned this way.
Right, right.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a little peninsula.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You're right on
Yeah.
the peninsula, yeah. But I mean, I just
It's a
love, like I
beautiful
said, I
area.
love the location because there's so much here. You know, and like we said, it's a hidden gem, but there is a lot here.
Correct. A lot of people come, there's the park where people come fishing, there's a playground.
Yeah.
So they come
Like
and
right behind
they
it, yeah.
walk here, they get, a to-go sandwich, a to-go empanada, or an actual entree, like, and then they make it to-go.
Or coffee.
Or some people stop while they go into, like the fishing cruises and the diving cruises that leave right up behind
Yeah,
here.
right.
They'll come and get something, and then they'll take it with them on the boat ride. And
Yeah, because I say you get the
see them
marina too
stopping
over
in
here,
for
right?
coffee
Right, the
and
marina's right,
bake
right here.
Yeah.
right on the across the street, literally.
So it's a great place to stop, get some stuff to go before you
Correct.
get out to the
Correct.
ocean.
A lot of people come on the way home or two.
Yeah.
They'll get a coffee, an empanada, or a muffin, or a dessert. and
Perfect
then
location.
And it's on the go.
Yeah.
They're driving to and from.
Yeah, and it's easy. I love the cafe area though, like outside. It's so nice, so pleasant.
Yeah. So that's it.
All right.
So
Address?
address and phone number.
Yeah.
So we're located at 2608 North Ocean Boulevard, Pompano Beach, Florida, 33062. And you can also reach us on our website, Facebook, Instagram, known as Bistro 1. Or you can call us at 954-532-9920.
Look
Okay,
at
and,
you.
and I'll make sure all that's at the end of the
Yeah.
of the video, so you can see that
Yeah.
too. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. Thanks again,
Thank you for
Mauro. It's
coming.
been awesome.
It's always a pleasure,
We had such a good
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hug.
Thank you.
So,
Bless you.
so we'll sign off.
Yes.
All right. So
Bye, everybody.
always
Bye.
enjoy, and we'll see you here. Bye.
Have a good night.
Hoje é dia de sol, alegria de coió, é curtir o verão.